Hi, this is Kevin, and I'll be doing Mondays here on the Project Chronicle collaborative channel. I did daily vlogging for the first half of 2013, and then it proved too much for me, but I think I'll be able to keep to a weekly schedule. This is the first Monday of 2014, so I figured I would start here, and the topic this week is how you waste time. And because I'm argumentative by nature, I'm going to start by questioning the whole idea of whether it's possible to waste time. Because to me, the whole idea of wasting time presupposes that there's some ideal way to spend every minute of your day, and if you depart from that, you are somehow wasting your allotted time. It's the kind of attitude that was summed up by Rudyard Kipling in the poem If, when he was listing all the things that would make you a truly great person, and one of them was, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, which is really nice poetry, but I don't agree with it. I don't think that the object of life is to keep running 60 seconds every minute until you drop. I think if you can fill an unforgiving minute with something that gives you pleasure or knowledge or understanding or just relief or laughter, that's probably a good way to spend a minute. And there's another strain in our culture that regards any investment of time in something that doesn't succeed as wasted. And I think that's also wrong. And you can go back to a quote that's attributed to Michelangelo that I'm almost certain Michelangelo didn't say, but it's a great quote. When he was asked how he sculpted David, he said, "I took a block of marble, I chipped away everything that wasn't David." And so if you were really focused on marble, you'd say, wow, he wasted a lot of marble. But that process obviously isn't wasting, it's shaping something that turns out to be beautiful and lasting and important to people for centuries to come. And that's kind of how I've come to think about how you shape your life. You have to chip away everything that's not your life. And that process, especially when you're younger, will involve investing a lot of time in things that don't work out, in activities and relationships and whole philosophies that ultimately don't work out, but that help to shape who you are, help you discover what's important and not important to you. So looking back on that time, I can't say any of it's really wasted. And I used to have a lot of anxiety about wasting time, about whether I should be doing what I was doing at the moment or something else, something different, something better, something more productive. And I don't have that same anxiety anymore. And I can almost trace it to, as with most things, a song lyric. Years ago, my friend Amy and I went to see a singer-songwriter named Cheryl Wheeler, who's wonderful. And in fact, the process of thinking about this vlog made me think about Cheryl Wheeler and go back and listen to her songs again, and that made me so happy and was a very good use of time. I'm going to put a link to a video of the song I'm talking about. I could not find a video of Cheryl Wheeler actually performing the song, which I wish I could, but the song is called Unworthy, and the opening line she's talking about her anxiety at feeling unworthy, and it starts out, no matter what I'm doing, I should certainly be doing something else. And then it's a very funny song, and she lists all the things that she should be doing, and even when she's doing those, then she thinks of other things she should be doing, and it sort of collapses on itself. It's a great illustration of the kind of trap you can set for yourself if you feel like you're running this race and you have to account for every second of your life. It creates a lot of pointless stress. The only time I look back and think was wasted was time when I was doing things because I felt like I was supposed to, although they didn't really serve any purpose for me or for anyone else, and I was sort of going through the motions of doing them. I wanted to share something from the Screwtape Letters, which is a book by C.S. Lewis, who is, if you've watched my videos before, you know, is my favorite writer of all time. I feel like he has a lot of insight into how human beings operate. And he's talking about the Screwtape Letters, if you don't know, is written from the perspective of a demon who's trying to tempt a soul into hell. So obviously all of his advice is meant to be the opposite of what you should do. He's talking about tempting someone into wasting time. And he says, you can make him waste his time not only in conversation he enjoys with people whom he likes, but also in conversations with those he cares nothing about, on subjects that bore him. All the healthy and outgoing activities which we want him to avoid can be inhibited and nothing given in return. So at last he may say, as one of my own patients said on his arrival down here, I now see that I spent most of my time in doing neither what I ought nor what I liked. And I love that phrase, and I've often gone back to it. And the test I try to apply to a given use of time is Is it something I ought to do, meaning does it fulfill some obligation that I recognize as valid and important? Or is it something I like to do, which means does it give me pleasure or enjoyment? And that's a pretty good rule of thumb to apply to your time. If you find yourself doing things that... Hey, Panda. Sorry, my dog just came in. Say hello, Panda. So that was Panda. And this is probably a good illustration of what I'm talking about, because she wants to go for a walk, which is something I ought to do because it's a responsibility I've assumed for her. And it's something I like to do because it gets us outside and we get some exercise, we get to see the neighborhood, and it's a fairly nice day, although kind of cold. So I'm going to do that now. But I'll leave you with the idea that you should not stress overly much about whether you're wasting time. At any given moment, there are an almost infinite number of things that you could be doing that would be more productive, but there's probably an infinite number of things you could be doing that are less productive. And often the least productive things are things you feel you're supposed to be doing so you don't waste time. And ultimately, that's the worst way to waste time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.